Hey, it's Greg Wortka with GreenIndustryPros.com here at the GIE+EXPO in Louisville, Kentucky, joined by Kris Kiser, the big man on campus, the president of the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute, the power behind the show, right?
Well, there's a lot of folks involved in the show to make it a success.
Yeah, it's busy. I'm having a blast. Your attendees are having a blast. It seems really busy. Can you talk a little bit about the attendance thus far, a day and a half through the show?
Absolutely. I'm really happy to talk about this. It's a record show. Okay. It's our biggest ever.
Excellent.
So it's the show is terrific in that it is the largest show with the largest number of attendees. It's the largest number of exhibitors, both indoors and outdoors. Mm-hmm. And so as a record setter, we're doing something right. Mm-hmm. And as you know, it's the perfect opportunity for our users and our dealers and our distributors to meet with the OEMs and their suppliers, to see the equipment. And our manufacturers and our members have really done a nice job this year in bringing new product offerings,
right.
New things coming into the market at the show, which is exactly what we want it to be.
Yeah, and just for our listeners, OPEI is the Association of Equipment and Engine Manufacturers for the outdoor power industry. New products is a big reason why landscape contractors and dealers come to the show, but it's also kind of like a family reunion. You used that term this morning. Talk a bit about that aspect and how this show is going to continue to be in Louisville, which is a big reason why it is like a family reunion.
Absolutely. This OPEI, as you've described, is the trade association for engines, equipment, and UTVs. So we have 100 members. We're the principal owner of the show. We've been in existence for 60 years. We've owned the show since its existence, which began 30 years ago. It has always been in Louisville, Kentucky. It's the mothership, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it's grown and evolved here. And we've just executed an agreement with our partners, Planet PGMS, with the Kentucky Exposition Center. We're going to be here for a number of more years. Mm-hmm. And one of the great things is it's a unique venue because of the outdoor space.
Right.
We're actually a really big show. Mm-hmm. We're the 9th largest in the country. And so you need a big building. Mm-hmm. And there are very few facilities in the country. There's only a handful that can take us, and very few that have outdoor space, and none, with the exception of this, that lets us dig and cut and mow and tear it up.
Right.
Which is what our people like to do.
Sure.
So it's the perfect venue. And you said family, and that's the nice thing about this business is that it's big enough yet small enough to know the players, know your suppliers, know your big customers, know your dealers. And it's a great mix of dealer distributors and retail, right. And it's as you've described, I've described, it's a family reunion over two and a half days, and we're going to stay.
That's good. And yeah, this is a big industry made up of a lot of smaller companies, by and large. One issue that affects every single one of them is ethanol. The proliferation of E15, 15% ethanol into the marketplace is a concern. Last year you launched the Look Before You Pump campaign to try to educate consumers. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that campaign has had and maybe where it's going in the future? Because I don't see this ethanol craze slowing down.
Well, I don't see the craze slowing down either, Greg. I think you've got it exactly right, because it's a political problem, and it's a complex political problem. And that means Congress has to work.
Right.
And right now Congress doesn't work.
Right.
And so we don't think that problem is going to get solved. What it means is you're getting fuels in the marketplace for which outdoor power equipment is not designed, built, or warranted.
Right.
And these fuels, which are for a subset of the automobile fleet, will kill, damage, or destroy outdoor power equipment. So it's imperative that people be educated about getting the right fuel for the product. And that's what Look Before You Pump does.
Right.
It's designed to let people know that the historic paradigm that whatever went in the car and the pickup truck could go in the can. Whatever would go in the can, we're a great show, it's a busy show. Whatever goes in the can goes in the generator and the bass boat and the chainsaw and the mower. Well, that's not the case. So we got to be smart about that. It's a non-road problem, so we're working with our friends in the marine industry and the snowmobile industry. We're similarly situated, and they are using our campaign, Look Before You Pump. Huge penetration at retail. All the big box, so Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, True Value, etc. Those folks are using it. We're getting good penetration in the dealer distributor group,
right?
And the OEMs. These materials are made available from OPEI to them. Again, we've got to do everything we can to educate the consumer to find the right fuel. Nobody wants an unhappy customer,
right.
And you want the product to perform the way it's designed to perform.
You bet. And I think the last time I checked in with the Renewable Fuels Association, it sounded like maybe a dozen states are seeing E15 start to show up at some gas stations. I would presume that's going to continue to grow into the future. So what do equipment dealers need to do? They're on the front lines of this thing. What can they do to engage with OPEI and help educate consumers?
Well, it's a team effort.
Okay.
And so manufacturers, dealers, distributors, the fuel folks, we all got to work together. The other challenge is it's uncertain. Everyone knows the renewable fuel standard as it's configured, because the underlying assumption that gasoline consumption in this country was going to continue to grow simply didn't happen.
Right.
And so what happened is, here's you got a problem law with an unintended consequence, and that's not, this ethanol issue is not going to change unless the law changes.
Right.
No one expects that.
Right.
So in the short term, we simply have got to work with all of our partners together.
Right, very good. Well, again, as you can see the traffic through here, it's a busy show. Everybody's having a good time. Congratulations on a great GIE Expo 2014, and we'll look forward to 015. It sounds like you might even have to expand the footprint and move into the North Hall to accommodate everything.
We've actually outgrown the interior space that we're contracted for. It's a great problem to have, to outgrow your space when we've got the North Hall.
Right.
We've also got, because we have a dynamic show and a growing show and an exciting show, there are other industries that have their own trade shows that want to co-locate with us, much like our hardscape relationship, which has proved really beneficial to both parties. And so we're looking at that for future years, and this show's going to be here for a long, long time.
Very good. Strength in numbers.
You bet.
Very good. Thank you, Kris.
We're glad you're here.
Okay.